One. Good.
Breathe. Breathe. Breathe through the heat of thy coolness and thy balm. Let sense heat and let flesh return. Still small voice of God. Oh, still small voice of God. Oh, no. Hello? Are you there? Is it true that I can ask you anything, like the vicar says? Because I'm at church every Sunday, and he talks about having a close personal relationship with you, like you're, my imaginary friend. I mean, in a good way. Yeah, but I don't think I'm there yet. I mean, isn't it a bit presumptuous to go off script? And where do I look when I'm talking to you if you're supposed to be everywhere? Oh, I do feel closer to you up here, in the clouds. Oh, the village is so small, like a railway set. Will I get into trouble for climbing up here? Excuse me, but do you answer on a question-by-question basis? Or do I get all the answers in one go, like when you turn to the back of a maths book? What if my questions are stupid or I ask the wrong ones? Like now they finish. When will they take this down? Will they take it down quicker if I raise more money? Could I do a bungee jump from up here? Is there the swing space? Oh, the new steeple is lovely, isn't it? At sunrise, when I'm sorting out Joelle, the new tiles, they shine pink and then silver, because it's always been here where we can see it when we're awake and everyone else is asleep. But now it's new. Are you pleased? Is the vicar pleased with me? Oh. Hello? Yes, I'm a mother. No, I was just talking to someone else. Just a second. You want me to make her an appointment? Yeah, and who's that with? Well, I know it's patient confidentiality, but if it's kept confidential from the patient, then it isn't much help, is it? Well, she's under the neurologist, the dietitian, the psychologist, community doctor. Physio's discharged her and the speech therapist is on maternity leave. Is that everyone? You got it on the little screen? Oh, no, she has wonderful hearing. At bedtime, I try to tiptoe out of the bedroom and her bat ears catch me every time. Oh, you found something, have you? Well, do you need Joelle's date of birth? It's the 25th of the 12th, 2000. Yeah, Christmas Day, that's right. Double the presents. Where am I? Do you mean right now? Oh, the address. You found it, have you? You do? Well, I've never seen you at church. Have you seen the new steeple? Yeah, I fundraised for that. Yeah, me. I just need to take down the scaffolding and then the whole town can see what we've accomplished. Okay, today. Oh, just one more thing. Have you ever wanted to have a conversation with God? Well, rude. I'm trying. Does the vicar know I'm trying? Is that why he invited me for coffee at Crumbs? I got there early. Do you see how people see me? And then they stop a second. I mean, do they think that I don't see them? Do they think I'm stupid? Yeah, well, the vicar doesn't think I'm stupid. He shambled in late. Said I was amazing for this. Wait until he sees my bungee jump. Is it me, or does the vicar look a bit like Hugh Grant? 4 weddings, not Paddington. Poured my tea and cut his flapjack in half for us to share. He said, "Can I ask how exactly you managed to raise so much?" Looked a bit flustered. Do I fluster the vicar? Do you think I should have been a Catholic? Because priests don't marry, do they? I mean, do you think it annoys his wife when I offer to iron his shirts and his pants? Because if he was a priest, I could do that, couldn't I? I mean, he'd be glad of the help. I could clean his whole house from top to bottom when Joelle's at No Limits Daycare Centre and organise his desk. Well, it wasn't easy, I said, particularly not the parachute jump. But the whole church is, well, it's been the world to us for these past couple of years. And he nibbled his thumb and asked if I'd noticed how the church isn't always full. You didn't spend all your savings, did you? What a question to ask. His eyes were darting this way and that. I want you to know that God isn't in slate or stone or a churchyard. And I said, how do you mean? And his mouth just sort of gaped. And then he asked for an update on the big steeple reveal. It's kind of like a gender reveal party, only you're giving birth to a steeple and without pain relief. Yeah. For the refreshments, I've decided upon hot cocoa and chocolate bombs. They have these tiny little marshmallows inside of them, and when you pop them into a hot drink, they sort of explode. And then you know all this, don't you? You know everything that ever was and ever will be. Yeah. Me and Joelle, we made posters and we put them up all around the town. She absolutely loved it. We flyered the mums outside the school. Well, we sort of body blocked the driveway with our mobility buggy, but they've all said they would come. Oh, and the vicar's asked if I would like to give a speech as a guest of honour. I said, really? You want me to witness? Yeah, they did an Alpha course a couple of years back and they didn't ask me to witness. And the vicar didn't call it Alpha. He called it Questions, Answered. What did the colon mean? I mean, does anyone understand where to use colons, let alone semicolons? Well, he said that if I do give a talk, there's some words that I shouldn't use, like hell and devil, and definitely no speaking in tongues. Is the devil real? And did the devil invent semicolons to make us question ourselves several times a day? Anyway, and the vicar was looking at his watch, and I had to go anyway, because Joelle's bus is always late picking up, but it's never late dropping home. I cantered home, got a snack ready, and I had a couple of minutes to go online. Hey, did you know? If you type recipes for a bomb into Google, you get about 5 pages of chocolate bombs and pages of another type of bomb. Oh no, was I on the dark web? When my tablet record that search history? And is it really only industrial ammonia and peroxide, or ammonia and iodine, with carpet nails and tacks? I mean, could I get all that from being cute?
Yeah.
Congregation. Oh, considering our options, as few as 10 more regulars will make a difference. Well, what about those of us that do come? I mean, if they close the church, well, they sell the building and the churchyard with all the trees in it, with all the bodies in it. Oh, it's so beautiful. Look at the red apples. I mean, can you blame Eve for wanting one? All the flack that she's had since. Sorry, but wasn't that a bit of an overreaction? Oh, how am I going to explain all of this to Joel? But Daddy he's there, and we can't go and see him. After Emil was put in the coffin, he came and stayed the night at the house. Before the funeral, I told Joel that Daddy was going away. She got his woolly jumper out of the drawer, and I understood that she wanted him to have everything he would need, which was clever of her, wasn't it? Yeah, she yanked his cords off the hanger, so they went in. Got a Care Bear, that went in. And his trainers for walking in heaven. She found his comb, had a couple of his hairs still in it. I wanted to keep his comb on the bedside table, but it wasn't worth the argument, was it? What if he was thirsty? I filled a drinks bottle with orange squash. Next day when the undertakers came, they said that the coffin was heavier going out than it was coming in. As he put on weight, Mrs. Khalil. She was so agitated in the service. I mean, how much did she remember? And why did she want to get her teddy bear back? Would she have opened the coffin if I hadn't have held her down, screaming at me like it was my fault? I signalled to them to get him out of the church and into the ground quick. It's all a bit of a blur. Why don't I remember mine? Did I not care enough? Is all of this a punishment? Jeff would call that limited thinking. Yeah, I saw Jeff for grief counselling at Sherborne House. Jeff shaves his head and grows his beard. Sometimes I imagine flipping his head upside down and giving his beard a parting. Yeah, Jeff gave me worksheets. There are lots of buzzwords. There's limiting thinking, like I'll never climb up here. But I did, didn't I? There's fortune telling, like maybe the vicar will fight for the church. Then there's mind reading, which is when you assume that you know what people are thinking, but you can't, can you? I mean, I didn't guess what Emil was up to. And when I told Jeff that, well, I worry that I won't do right by Joelle now that Emil's gone, he gave me a worksheet for catastrophising, which is when you confront the fear and you make it 1,000,000 times worse. So, for example, instead of forgetting her packed lunch, I forget to turn off the gas. I'm in the shower and the kitchen goes up in a fireball. Next thing I'm on BBC Spotlights with suds in my hair, no eyebrows, and naked and covered in soot. I mean, compared to that, No Limits making her a sandwich is no big deal, is it? We did laugh. And as it was our last session, I said to Jeff, would you like a relationship with God? But he said our time had run out. Rude. Yep, so that's what I'll do when I wake in the night and the steeple has been converted and Emil's body is under a car park. I'll just imagine something far worse, like the church being blown to smithereens, the cornerstone flying through the air, smashing through the cake counter at Crumbs, the weather vane harpooning the chip van, debris and the vicarage tulips, my mugshot, Devon Live, the notorious outlaw. Yep. I'd visualise how every step would look and feel, where I'd stockpile the chemicals. It really is clever, isn't it? Because after you've scared yourself silly thinking about all that, the real life worry really isn't so bad. But why is it? When I think about blowing up the church, my breath gets steadier. We're doing it wrong. If you're going to lose something, it's better to say when. Don't you agree? Oh. No limits has been closed all week. Dangerously low staffing levels. I mean, why do they need a staff ratio of 2 to 1 to keep Joelle safe when I look after her on my own all the time? Hey, does time go slowly for you, like watching hair grow? Or dead fast because you've been around forever? Well, we got through it. Did a lot of baking. On Wednesday, I baked a beautiful lemon sponge. Yeah, rose beautifully. Put a picture of it on Facebook, all the centre staff liked it. And on Thursday, I left Joelle clipped into her mobility buggy indoors for an hour. Didn't even put on Mr. Tumble. Just closed the curtains so that nobody could see in. I mean, was she just tired? She'd been up 3 times in the night. Maybe I shouldn't have brushed her hair. Of course it set her off, screaming and screaming, and I was trying to tell her that I don't like taking her out with it all tangled like she isn't loved. She is loved. But she didn't listen to me. When does she ever listen to a word I say? And when I cleaned her teeth, she bit me. Emil wasn't there, was he? He had a way with her and she had a way with him. He did the emotional stuff, I did the practicals. Then I switched out a bowl of Cocoa Pops for a bowl of bran flakes and blueberries, as discussed with the dietitian. I have to, now that we're keeping a food diary. I mean, how do they get away with charging £5 for a handful of blueberries? She threw the bowl at the wall. So I coaxed her into her buggy with a chocolate biscuit, omitted from the diary, of course, and did up her waist and chest straps. Then I shut the curtains and left the purple milk trickling down the wallpaper. I went into my room and got under the covers and just looked at the tip of the steeple through the window, like the angle of Emil's shoulders in bed, always there. What do I do if it's not always there? When I went downstairs, she'd flipped her buggy over. I mean, she hadn't hurt herself, but she can't undo the clip, so she couldn't get out, and so her face was all red and puffy from crying. Absolutely broke my heart. And she'd overmatched the pad too. Oh, she was so good when I was changing her, but she was all red and rashy through sitting in it. Psalm 139. I am fearfully and wonderfully made. I was just hugging her, telling her sorry and saying, I love you. Do you love me too? And she said, but, which means, is the bus coming? And I said, no, because the centre's closed today. And she said, but, which means, is the bus coming? And I said, no, because the centre's closed today. And she said, duh. Well, he's not here, is he? Asking. Because she's still so confused, isn't she? She's so confused. But when I go to bed at night, my thoughts have turned to questions too, like, did I lock the door? Did I give her her medicine? Will she sleep through the night? Should I be sleeping on Emil's side of the bed by now? Do I need a wee? Maybe I should go to the kitchen and look in the sink to see if the syringes are in there, and then I'll know that I gave her her medicine. But if I do that, will I go to the fridge? Do you watch me stuffing my face in the middle of the night? Does it look disgusting? But if she sleeps through the night, I can do that, can't I? I can do whatever I want. I mean, is that why Emil did what he did, just to go mad for a second? When me and Joelle meet on the other side, and she has her new body, it's something like, I don't know, Taylor Swift or Beyonce. Actually, can I have Beyonce, please? And her new voice, it's like the tinkling of bells. There's no more ba, like ah. Will she say, it's okay, Mum, I understand. I loved sitting there clipped in my buggy, staring through the crack in the curtains, watching the blackbirds build their nests. Or will she say, why were you such a cow? Such a horrible, nasty cow. I was bored, shitless, stuck in that buggy. I couldn't tell you, but I hated your guts. Can you just give me a yes or no answer, please? Why is all of this still here? Like they own the place. If anyone owns it, it's mine. Open again. The meeting was with the speech therapist. Her name is Leonie, and she's back from maternity leave. She has a new approach. It's called the silence technique. To get Joelle to communicate, I have to stop trying to communicate. She said to put things out that Joelle likes, like Play-Doh. I can't speak or sign. I can only imitate her movements to show that I'm paying attention. I can only communicate if she tries to say something, but she looks at my face first. So, for example, if she looks at me and she says, "la," I can say, "lunch soon." But if she says, "la," and she doesn't make eye contact, well, then I have to ignore her, hard as that may feel. I mean, what are they on? When does Joelle ever look at my face? Oh, and if she looks at my face and she says, "la," I can't ask, "Do you want lunch soon?" Because questions are off limits. Why are questions off limits? Well, Leonie says that people with communication difficulties experience questions as testing, challenging. Even your awkward intonation makes them feel that they're about to fail. Is that true? Leonie says that questions are not projectiles, discarded like a bottle of pee from a trucker's cab. I have to think about how they will land. So until Joelle makes eye contact, which never happens, I have to remain present but silent. After years of being told to honour her every communicative attempt, trying to be her voice because, well, your child's a part of you, aren't they? Well, Leonie says no. She says, Joelle's 24, she needs to find her own voice. She needs to understand the impact she has on those around her, and she can only learn that by looking at your face. And then she filmed us doing the silence technique. Felt like I was on CCTV. Hey, you feel like you are sometimes CCTV, watching bad things and unable to make them stop.
She played back the video, pressed pause every 10 seconds. Are you silent? No. She gave me a look, pressed play again. Are you silent now? Yes. Yes, I am. She smiled and nodded. Now are you silent? No. She said, we'll practice again the next time I come. So, now, at bedtime, I have to practice with Joelle and film her on my phone. Oh, steeple reveal party tomorrow. The vicar said that we should celebrate the steeple no matter what the future holds. Lights are blazing. It's 2 a.m. Are they arguing? Or is he re-evaluating? No one came to the steeple reveal party. So I have 100 uneaten chocolate bombs. It's very cold in the church, doesn't it, when it's empty? I can see the vicar's breath. Why did he ask to hear my talk, anyway? And was he interested? I told him how you crept up on me through the many little kindnesses of the congregation. I said how this was the only place that I could bring Joelle to without people staring, covering their ears. I said how one Sunday I heard that passage and I knew it was true. Matthew 25:40. Truly I tell you, whatever you did for one of the least of these brothers and sisters of mine, you did for me. Yeah. That idea that you who made everything are inside that young woman that people don't understand, my daughter, as important as God. We're all meant to be as important as each other, aren't we? Yeah, well, the world doesn't always make us feel that way. He was really listening. He said, do you really believe in grace? He said it like he was asking, do I believe in the tooth fairy? Should he talk like that when he's a vicar? Of course, I said. I have examples. I mean, how else did Joelle survive when she was only 3 weeks old? Thank you for that. What else is it? When she lets me tickle the inside of her elbow and I see her unclench for a moment. I mean, isn't it grace that Emil didn't get caught? Though I don't think I gave him that example. Oh, should vicars have smiles like that? Really does have straight teeth for a man in his 40s, doesn't he? Well, then he told me that he's tired of everything in his life being a transaction. I didn't understand, so he gave me examples. He said, I have to manage the closure if I'm to get a better parish next time. I'm sorry, but what's better than here? He said, to follow my calling, I have to tolerate life of middle management, emails, budgets, safeguarding. My kids won't eat veg unless I bribe them with screen time. And then he lowered his voice and said, my wife gives me chores after sex. Sorry, that was a bit of an overshare. But the fact is, after the life you've had, you still believe in grace. That's sort of blown my mind. What do they mean? After the life I've had? Why did he lower his voice when he talked about sex? There was no one else here. Did he not want you to hear? You invented sex. What were you on when you invented sex, by the way? Not that me and Emil did it much for years, too tired. Him on the road servicing photocopiers. A business sinks or swims based on the reliability of its photocopier. Do you have sex? No, you don't have to answer that one. No. Hey, but the menopause isn't all snacks, is it? I mean, before, Emile used to sort of get off the stop early, so to speak. But I'd say, why don't you ride the bus all the way to Dawlish? I think he liked the spontaneity. Made him feel primal, like a caveman. I'd wake up feeling all loose and limber and young again. I'd be at the door later signing for a parcel, feel the warning sign run down the thigh. One time the postman saw my face and asked if he had the wrong house. Oh, I'm glad that we had that second wind, me and Emile. Did you give us that? Oh, was I expecting a hug when he locked the church with bumped noses? What were you on when you bent in noses? Is this your plan for me? To help the vicar? To give him the strength to fight for the church? Oh, Joelle's lights are still out. I better go before she wakes. How can I sleep? There's a meeting tomorrow about the future of the church. Maybe the vicar will stand up and tell them that I've made him see the light.
A developer with excellent credentials who'll contribute to a play park on the green and buy both the church and the churchyard. Learn recent renovations of the steeple are a useful asset in negotiations. Exhumations to be dealt with by contractor and the congregation moved to nearby towns. Those without transport, there's a bus. The stops are full of big prices in most days, except for Sundays, which isn't ideal. Parish council to discuss mini bus options. What happens if the digger bucket misfires when it gets to Emile, smashes through wool and teddy bear stuffing, skin that I've worshipped with my lips? Can you see all that from above and underneath and inside? I mean, all at once, like an abstract painting. Can you see what the worm sees as it burrows through my husband? But that's okay, isn't it? Because he has a right to be there. The digger bucket doesn't have a right to be there. Any more questions? Said the clerk. But all I had in my notepad was a doodle of the steeple split in two, billowing smoke. So I said, what happened to the apple trees? I mean, why did I believe in the vicar? He asked if we could talk in the ship. Why did I go? We found a sofa at the back. He told me that the work that I did for the steeple was important, yet essentially trivial. I've repaired his faith. Bricks and mortar don't matter if God lives here. Our neighbours all questions like, do you find yourself doing normal things like waxing a bike and suddenly there are prickles up your skin because you feel him right there? It changes everything, doesn't it? But I didn't know what to say. So I just repeated what he said and then added a bit, like I do now with Joelle. But I was thinking, have I converted a vicar? That was one of those two-seat sofas that's a bit smaller than you're expecting. So our knees were touching and a bit of our thighs. Then he ran his fingers through his hair at the temple where the blonde bits going grey, saying, like it was a secret between us two, when did you first talk to Emile about the deepening of your faith? Weren't you scared that it would change your relationship? But then you thought, so what? Maybe they're not the right person for you. Oh, I had this scared feeling. Oh, this nice, scared feeling. And he said, Sheridan, do you hear what I'm saying to you? So I reached out my hand and I touched his hair and the temple where the blonde is going grey. And he said, what the hell are you doing?
I just wanted to explain how alone I'd been feeling. So I told him about the morning with the £5 blueberries. Oh, God, why? When I looked up, his eyes had gone all hard and glassy, and he said, "You did what? You left Joelle unsupervised? You used her mobility aids to restrain her?" Which is not what I said, or what I meant to say. "When was this? Where is Joelle now?" "Are you going to refer me? I am responsible for safeguarding at the church. I have no choice." And then he got up and left, leaving behind his kind of proper job like a glass slipper. How long will it take? When will they move her? I'm not good with her in the way that Emile is good with her. Will I even get to see her? I've been asking you to show me your plan all this time. Psalm 139 says all the days ordained for me are written in your book, and this is it? To take my daughter away from me? Well, I can't fight you, can I? I can't fight God. Well, I don't think you're a very nice person. There, what do you say to that? Oh, I just keep thinking. Emile's gone. If they take Joelle, then what have I got to lose? You know what Joelle would say to you? Yeah, she is so much braver than I am. She says it like it is. So you listen to this. I didn't have to go to B&Q. You can get industrial ammonia on Amazon. Vats of it. Got it same-day delivery on my Prime account. There's hairdressing peroxide too, in bulk. I'll put that on Emile's account. Can't risk what the algorithms will pick up, can you? I mean, can you imagine my optimised ads? Hey, you like optimised ads? Whatever's in people's heads, you just keep giving them more and more until they just can't stand it. I don't want to hurt anyone. But there's never anyone here at night. Had time for a cup of tea before Joelle's bus arrived. Then another parcel. Semtex. When you open it up, it's all kind of squishy, like Play-Doh. So that night when we did the silence technique, I put it on the table for me and Joelle to play with. I gave her a rolling pin and waited. She rolled it flat. Then she poked her fingers in and made these little indentations. She said, "Ho," which means holes. But she didn't look at my face, so I couldn't say anything. Then she did it again. This time she said, "Ho." And she looked at my face. "Yes, darling. Holes, lots of holes." And she smiled. I shall have to tell Leonie. Not about the Semtex, obviously. After she'd gone to bed, I went out onto the patio to figure it all out, make a sort of prototype that nobody overlooks our garden. You take a pay-as-you-go Nokia and you get a bundle of matches. You get a relay switch and you wire that to the Nokia. Then the vibration travels down the wire through the switch and onwards to the bundle of matches. You see, Joelle has friends at No Limits who, well, they can't speak or move. So they say what they want to say by triggering a switch. Well, we'll be saying what we want to say by triggering a switch. I got it all set up. And I called the Nokia. Just thumping at the glass. Joelle's face pressed against the window, smiling at the flames. She loves fire. She signed fire. And she looked at my face. We really are getting better at this silence technique. It's the wiring that's tricky. But I'm good at it because I learnt plugs and fuses when Emil was on the road. Bet that was part of your plan too, wasn't it? Oh Lord my God, when I with awe and wonder behold all the things thy hands have made, the starlit night, the mighty rolling thunder, what can I do but stand and be amazed? Then sings my soul, my Saviour's love for me. How great thou art, how great thou art. Then sings my soul, my Saviour's love for me. How great thou art, how great thou art. Emil, he didn't want to hurt anyone. It wasn't his fault. The air fryers were on sale in the middle of Lidl. He had 8 quid in his wallet, so he brought one home. Something miraculous about an air fryer, isn't there? Like transubstantiation, air turning to heat. But I said we couldn't have it in the house. Was he going to be there? Are you going to watch Joelle stop her putting her hand in, stop her getting burnt? But he said that the heat, well, it stops immediately when you open the lid. Well, I couldn't get my head around that, so it went back in the boot. He was servicing a photocopier somewhere near Swindon when he passed a Lidl, and, well, that's when he had his epiphany. He went into the store with his old receipt, left the air fryer in the boot of the car, went to the middle of Lidl, picked up a new air fryer, took it to the till with his old receipt, got a refund in cash, and kept his receipt too. I mean, did he see his moment to be reckless, to stick it to the guy? He drove all around the country, didn't he, servicing photocopiers? The people weren't always very nice to him, were they? They took out their photocopier-related stress on him. They didn't notice how tired he looked from the broken night he'd had. He had to apologise for their disappointing client experience. And then one day, he took me to the garage because, well, he'd stop at Lidl 3 or 4 times a day. And yeah, he took me to the garage and, well, it was like that scene from Breaking Bad when Walter's been cooking crystal meth and his wife Skylar is supposed to launder the money, but she can't keep up. So she takes him to a lockup and there's this shape the size of a double bed and it's covered in a sheet and it's just stacks and stacks of notes underneath. Well, it was just like that, only maybe more the size of a coffee table. He said it was like going to a cash machine, a victimless crime of sorts. Well, what could I do? We couldn't give it back, could we? There'd be questions. So we just put another lock on the door and left it. Oh, I couldn't look at him. For weeks, I couldn't look at him. He kept trying to catch my eye. And then he had his heart attack. And the church just sort of scooped us up. I've never eaten so many fish pies. But I missed him. I missed the solid shape of him. So I did this for him. I mean, I can't bake that many cakes. Who can bake that many cakes? The bungee jump was done at a loss. But I cleaned his money for him. I washed it clean. People at church don't know that, do they? Just like they don't know how, as he turned purple in front of my eyes, I prayed to you so hard like I did when Joelle was only 3 weeks old. But you didn't listen to me this time, did you? Why not? Are you doing a sponsored silence?
Limits is closed again today. Well, for Joelle, anyway. Her key worker has been reassigned paperwork. Did we care? We had what to do. She didn't want to get in the back at first. I have to open the back passenger door and then body block the pathway because she doesn't like getting in the back. If you want Joelle to get in the back, she goes into the middle of the road and she lies down until you've changed your mind. So I skipped all that bit and just helped her into the front. But the problem with her in the front is that she likes to change gears on the dual carriageway. And you can't lock the windows in the front, so down went the window. She went into the glove compartment and started flinging my CDs like frisbees. I could see it in the rearview mirror, see them all sticking out of the hedgerows like sequins in the sun. She likes the smells of Quick Fit, petrol and the diesel, the tyre rubber. Her head lolled back and she went all calm. Oh, she likes the sights too. Young man in his overalls was exactly her type. Shall I fit your new car battery for you? No, thank you. Pop it in the boot. So nice, aren't they, these days, young men? Tapped the roof of the car as we left. I drove home slowly, plucking the CDs out of the hedgerow one by one. You can do that on a Devon lane. You can get so close to the hedges that you can touch the bracken and the blackthorn and the dog roses. Near our turn, a new Mini Cooper came racing towards us. Bradley's estate agents. Expected me to reverse. The vicar was in the passenger seat. Had they put up the for sale sign? He saw me and said something to the driver who reversed too quickly. On Devon Lanes, the bracken and the dog roses will cut strips out of your paintwork. When I got home, the post had arrived. There was a letter from MASH, which stands for Multi-Agency Safeguarding Hub, and has nothing to do with potatoes. They'll start a process with MAISE, which stands for Multi-Agency Information Sharing, and has nothing to do with sweet corn. After Joelle's bath, I got her all nice and warm in a dressing gown and a bed sock so that she could sit with me, this time, out on the garden patio. I got everything together. I got the cables, the car battery, the gloves, and the matches. You strip the insulation off of the cables so that you've got the live wire, neutral wire, and the earth wire, so that electricity runs to ground. I put it all in front of her and waited for her cue. She said, go! But she kept looking at the bird feeder, so I waited. Plane flew over. 2 blue tits, took a peanut. Started to get cold. I started to think about all her sheets that needed drying and her pads that were running low. I started to think, what will I do when I don't need to do all of this anymore? Oh, my muscles were twitching to get on. But then I started to think, well, what's it like for her? To wait for me to get exactly what she wants and what she needs. I mean, is this what you're trying to tell me? That if she can wait for me, then I can wait for her? And she looked at me. She looked at the matches and the car battery. She finds it really difficult to look at my face and think at the same time, so she was trembling with the effort. Go! Yes! Gloves! I put on my marigolds and helped her on with hers, and then I connected one cable to the positive wire, the other cable to the negative terminal. Put a hole in my bloody rattan garden table as she was jigging. She was so excited she nearly flipped out of the chair and we were laughing. But then I could tell that, well, the excitement was too much for her and she wasn't enjoying herself anymore. So I held her close and she pressed her nose into my chest and sniffed deep and hard like she used to with a meal's aftershave. And all her muscle twitches, they calmed and stopped. And I thought, am I your earth wire? Do you ground yourself on me? Anyway, Nokia method is great, but we're going to go with the car battery, because how can you argue with results like that? Does the adult feel like she can't breathe for no reason? Does the adult worry that bad things might happen to her? Oh, she's not stupid, is she? Would the adult feel scared if she had to stay away from home overnight? But what do you think? Clinical psychology
have sent Joelle a questionnaire. They did give it to her key worker at No Limits, but, well, she was stumped, so she gave it to me. Joelle was on her tablet. She liked YouTube videos, close-up shots of tyres rolling over Play-Doh or water balloons. Sometimes it's Rubik's Cubes. She saw Leonie at the window and tossed the tablet aside. I said, "Have you come to spy on us?" She said, "We're on the same team." I showed her the questionnaire. She suggested that we use the silence technique to fill it. So I put a pile of photos of a meal on the coffee table that I got from the carpet opposite Joelle, watching her face. She swept them to the floor. So I picked up just one in case there were too many for her. And then we waited. She went back to her videos. This time, a tyre rolling over a row of Cadbury's cream eggs, crushed foil and white ooze on tarmac. I pushed one closer towards her, and she looked down and said, "Duh." And she looked at my face and said, "Duh." And I said, "That's Daddy. I miss Daddy." And she kicked the table over, and when I went to pick the table up, she screamed and shoved me so hard that I went crashing against the doorway and hurt my arm. Leonie was saying, "Are you okay?" And I said, is this what your technique is supposed to prove? Is it supposed to upset her, to show violence in our home so that we don't stand a chance? She said to calm down. "But why should I calm down?" And then she said, "Well, isn't it better that she shows us her anger and doesn't keep it inside? Isn't it better that we know why she gets angry?" I said, "Can you go now, please?" That night at bedtime, Joelle wanted to try on one of her new onesies. But I have to keep them nice for when she goes. And she accepted it. She went out like a light. That never happens. Was it a visit from Leonie? I got 8 hours straight. Getting massive for prison. Bishop comes this week, so it has to happen soon. Yeah. You'd think it would be a whole process, wouldn't you, to do a change of use? But all he has to say is, "I do remit this land, and all objects remaining in it for any lawful and reputable use." When generations have laid their hopes and despair at these stones. I planted dahlias along the for sale sign and cyclamen on the path leading to the church tower. I mean, how else could I lay my cable? I think they'll guess who did it right away. Or if you offer a policeman a cup of tea and a slice of cake, does that scream guilty conscience? Or they interview the vicar. Or they go to Quick Fit. Well, they put Joelle in that nice place on the moor with the ponies. Or that horrible place that overlooks the dual carriageway. Will I be able to call her from prison? Well, that won't work, will it? Maybe they'll arrange a video call. But that won't work either. I can't hug her or hold her in prison, so I'll hold her lots now, if she's happy with that. Hey, can I get in with the Christians in prison? Or are the Christians a bit too intense in prison? Maybe they'll give me my own cell in case I radicalise others. I think I'd be glad of the peace and quiet. Will I feel like an anchorite nun? Lucky bitches. Will you talk to me then? When it's just me and walls. How are you quiet? Do you have to be a bit more shouty with people like the vicar so that they can hear you over their own booming voices? But with people who don't expect to be heard, like me, you're quieter. You're leaving the space for me to speak up, to start to take control. It's like I'm trying to teach Joelle now, at the time that we have left. Will he only come again this week? Oh, I don't mind, as long as she calls ahead. The vicar, on his way to the vestry, saw me digging, then realised I'd seen him, came over, asked me how I was doing. Not in the usual way that people ask, though. He waited for an answer. Then he thanked me for my efforts with the flowers. His Birkenstock was stood on my command wire. Got very tanned feet. Gave me a sort of sexual frisson. But he didn't see the cables or the crocodile clips because he addressed the entire conversation to a point just above my head. I'm learning tongues. It's very freeing. Bellend. Arse. Piss shit. Fuck. Fuck off. Joel absolutely loves it. Bellend, arse, fucking shit, piss. Fuck off. I don't want it to go. I don't want it to go. Tonight's the night. So we jumped when Leonie rapped at the window. 6 litres of ammonia in the lounge and a fridge filled with Semtex. Me and Joelle were sorting out Emil's things. I meant to do it when she was at no limits. But then I thought, well, she's 24. Maybe she'd like to see it happen. Maybe she would like to choose something to take with her. I mouthed to Leonie to come round the back, which she did. She sat on my bed. Don't mind me. Sure makes herself at home, doesn't she? In the bottom drawer, I found Emil's I Love New York t-shirt, and I laughed. His sister gave it to him to remind us that we never went anywhere, but she had long-haul holidays. Obviously, there was a heart instead of a love, just like there was a heart on Joelle's Care Bear before it went in the coffin. Joelle pointed at the heart, but she didn't look at my face. And so I waited. Then she pointed at the heart, and she looked at my face. And I said, that's love. And she said, la, which might have meant lunch. And then there was ages. And then she pointed at the heart, and she looked at my face and she said, la. And I said, I love you. And she said, la, and looked at my face. And I said, do you love me too? And she said, la, and looked at my face. And then she looked away. But I could tell that she was thinking, yes. And then she looked at my face again. All this time, I think that is all I want to know. Did you give me that? Or was it Leonie, the speech therapist? And when the vicar reported me, did he help us? Hey, are you non-verbal? Do you express yourself through others? Leonie says that she's not supposed to say what will happen, but she's going to recommend that Joelle stays with me, with more breaks and more support in place. She says that Joelle needs to practice using her voice and that I'm the only person with the skill set and the motivation to help her right now, which is great, isn't it? I mean, it's also a bit annoying because I can't blow up the church. You can't do dramatic things when you've got something to lose. But what will I do with 6 litres of ammonium and 10 litres of peroxide? Can I bury it? If I pour it down the drain, will it hurt the fishes? I didn't have to throw away the chemicals. Later that year on bonfire night,
I wrap Joelle up, put on her ear defenders, and help her into the mobility buggy. Everything I need fits in the net carrier underneath. Most of the people from the village have gone to the fireworks display on the green, so no one sees us, except for you. The church has become a brown site. I drag open the temporary fencing and we squeeze through past the sign that says hard hats only, beyond this point. We roll along the walkway towards Emil's grave. By the light of the torch, the diggers look like monsters, the teeth of the buckets frozen mid-bite. There are holes where some of the graves have already gone. Then there's the bank that they haven't got to yet. If you are going to lose something, it is better to say when. I kick on Joelle's brake and we set to work, and then I step back and we wait. Behind the tree around the green, the Roman candles spit flame and colour pricks the night sky. Joelle is rocking in her buggy with her eyes squeezed shut like she's bit a lemon, excited and scared at the same time. And the bangs, they get louder and louder and louder, and I connect the cables. Mud and grit like a geyser 10 metres in the sky. Orange squash. A fine mist on our faces. Joelle is grinning and breathing hard through her teeth. Then impossibly, snow falling. But not snow. Care Bear stuffing. His trainers dangle on the telephone wire across the street. There are glowing rags of corduroy on the ground all around. Bang, says Joelle. Beautiful bang, I say. And then we go home.